The crown jewel of New York City, Central Park, tonight is going to glitter, not with jewels, but with extra cops. Dozens of them, in fact. This after a recent surge in robberies. The latest robbery last night when two men were mugged by teenagers. Robberies year to date in the park have more than tripled. The rise in robberies at least partly blamed on young migrants living in city shelters. Eyewitness News reporter Janice Yu live in the park tonight with the very latest. Janice.
Well, Bill, those officers actually just deployed within the last half hour or so, and you can see behind me still the mobile command post is here, and the officers will be here every single night until the department deems it's safe for people here. Again, we're talking about this uptick in robberies, and they also put these posters up throughout the park. This is in reference to a group of teenagers, they say, who mugged a man back on August 1st. So they are still looking for those suspects. Dozens of officers made their way into Central Park Wednesday afternoon, a show of force as the department continues to try to tackle the recent uptick in crime in the park.
We're not going to tolerate crimes in one of the most iconic locations in the world. And so behind me, you see the resources that we're going to deploy over the next days, weeks, whatever it takes to keep this place safe.
Assistant Chief Jason Savino says there have been 11 robberies in the park since June 27th, and he says 8 of them are likely connected.
You'll start to see, like I described, the wolf pack.
Savino says the suspects in these crimes are in large groups, what he calls wolf packs, like this mugging on August 1st. He says they take off with things like wallets, phones, and bags.
So you could imagine the feeling of that individual, predominantly tourists or soft targets, sitting on a bench and then ultimately being victimized by these wolf pack type robberies. It's tremendously concerning, and it's a new phenomenon not only to Central Park, but really to the area.
He says many of the suspects in these crimes live in city-run migrant shelters, and their average age is just 15. Police arrested an 11-year-old Tuesday night after he allegedly stole a phone from someone on the number 7 train. Assistant Chief Savino says the same kid was seen on video using credit cards stolen during a robbery in Central Park.
Although they're very young, very impressionable, they do have a big influence on this group, and that's something we haven't really readily seen. It's one of the first times I've ever seen it in my career.
Well, another tool that the NYPD plans on using are drones. We're told those will be deployed later this month. But again, for the time being, if you are in Central Park, especially after sunset, they say between that time and 1 a.m., that is when the crimes are occurring. So that is when the park will be flooded with officers just to keep an eye on everything. Live in Central Park, Janice Yu, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
All right, keep us posted. Thank you, Janice.